Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the top 10 biggest winners from the NBA draft. Let's get into it. Before we start, I would like to disclaim that just because I did not mention a team or player, it does not mean they will not be good years from now. Starting at number 10, we have the Spurs. Going into the draft, they were looking for a solid backup for Wemby when he needed rest. I think they nailed it pretty well in Jaden Quintance and Terrace Reed Jr. Quintance had an okay year, only averaging 5 a night, but only played 4 games due to injury. Reed, on the other hand, averaged 14 and 9. Both should develop well under the Spurs management and should be solid backups for Wemby. They also drafted a backup guard in Jacoby Gillespie and a forward in Malik Brown. As we saw from the postseason, depth is mandatory, and I think overall the Spurs did a pretty good job in the draft. Moving on to number 9, we have the Mavs. They are in a weird position where they need to win now and build around Cooper Flag. They needed to draft a high impact player to elevate the team going into next season. By drafting Merez Johnson, that should do the job. He could pair very well next to Cooper Flag and has already been coached by Dusty May. Their 2 Euro guards that they drafted will need time to develop and are probably going to try and be the Kyrie replacements. Toby Law is a freak of nature. He was at the top in almost every combine category for his pure athleticism. Every team needs just a straight up athlete, and I think the Mavs found what they were looking for. Overall, not a bad job, and they should definitely be better than last season. At number 8, we have the Bucks. The rebuild has officially begun after trading Giannis. They already have a star guard in Tyler Hero, and I love the idea of drafting another guard in Braden Burries. Burries had a pretty good season at Arizona, averaging 16 a night. Paired up with the 13th pick Nate Ament, they should be pretty fun to watch. I think Ament is an okay replacement for Giannis, but he's really skinny. Then again, so is Giannis at this age. At the end of the day, they are still rebuilding and drafted players that should have a chance to be key contributors in a couple of years. At number 7, we have the Jazz. I know this is really low for a team that had the second pick of the draft, but I'm a little skeptical about Darren Peterson. I'll be the first to say that he is really talented, as we saw him average 20 a game, but his inability to stay on the court really throws me off. Peterson missed 11 games due to multiple injuries, and he needs to hope it doesn't carry on into the league. The Jazz need a guard to pair up with Keontae George, and I think if Darren Peterson can stay on the floor and just play how he does when he's healthy, then the Jazz are getting what they thought they would. I hope Peterson proves me wrong, but his injuries at Kansas are the reason I have him at 7. Next, at number 6, the Thunder. The Thunder got exposed in the Western Conference Finals against the Spurs because they were getting dominated by Wemby, which is why they took Ade Mara at number 12. Mara is 7'3" and is much heavier than Chet. They also took Bennett Sturts for an Isaiah Joe replacement, and Otega Oa had a good career at Kentucky, and if developed right, he could be a nice second group player. The Thunder needed to get bigger and fill in the spots that they lost this offseason, and I think they did a pretty good job. At the halfway mark, we have the Grizzlies. After trading away Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant, it's rebuild time. Taking Cameron Boozer at 3 is a great pick for them considering their depth in the front court is slim. Why not bring in another forward in Kareem Lopez? I was pretty high on him during the season with his time in New Zealand. And for a potential Ja replacement, they took Richie Saunders. He averaged 18 a night, shooting 45% from 3. I like the Grizzlies picks, and if developed right, these players could be a threat. At number 4, we have the Hawks. The Hawks traded Trae Young during the season, and who better to fill that position than Kingston Flemings? Flemings was a breakout freshman star during his time at Houston, and he could seriously aid Jalen Johnson. Zuby Ejiofor should be a nice backup for Sarr, averaging 16 a night under Rick Pitino. Vassar was a projected first rounder, and I liked his game a lot. He's a 7-footer who can shoot 46 from 3. Having a big man who can shoot is vital, and I think that's a huge steal for the Hawks. With the podium finish, the Wizards. The Wizards had the first pick of the draft and selected none other than AJ DiBonsa. DiBonsa should be an instant star in the league, especially paired up next to Trae Young and Anthony Davis. Feliz Akpara had an okay season at Tennessee and can serve as the rest time for AD. The only reason they weren't higher is because as a team that is trying to find their future, they need depth, and they only drafted 2 guys. AJ is good, but he can't do it without a bench. Overall, the Hawks found their guy and could maybe turn things around soon. With the number 2 spot, the Bulls. The Bulls finished last year 31 and 51, but honestly, I only think they're a couple pieces away from being playoff contenders in the East. They had 2 lottery picks in Caleb Wilson and Dalen Swain, and I like both of them. They can score, create looks, handle, and should pair nicely next to Josh Giddey and Modest Buzelis. I really like the Bulls picks, and I think they will be much improved because of it. At number 1, the Sacramento Kings. The Kings needed a guard after trading away De'Aaron Fox, which is why they drafted Darius Acuff Jr. with the 7th pick. I'm shocked he slipped all the way down after some mock drafts had him going as early as 3. I like his game. He's an aggressive guard who really finishes well through contact. Alex Caravan had a nice couple years at UConn and is a lengthy wing who can shoot it. Emmanuel Sharp had a really nice go with Houston, averaging 15 a night. He's a great defender and hustler. The Kings did a pretty good job with their picks, and with Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine, they could look to make the playoffs a year after having 20 wins. That's all for today. Let me know in the comments what you think. How many did I get right? How many did I get wrong? Subscribe for more NBA takes like this, and let me know what video I should make next. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. HoopsX out.